Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tosh Customs, and today we'll be looking at my custom Mezco Red Hood. This was not a commission figure. I currently don't know if I'm going to sell it though, so I'll let you guys know on my Instagram post. Also, I'm going to say it at the beginning because I usually say it at the end. If you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more, please, the whole shebang, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. And now that I've done sort of the classic YouTuber thing, we're going to get right into it. As always, we're going to look at accessories first, so I'm going to pop off the head, and then we will dive in. So, starting with the accessories, I'm going to look at the weapons, and then we'll do a quick overview of the hands, and then we'll go to the heads up here. So, for the weapons, I have these two casted Glocks right here. This is from Resin Armory on Instagram. They came in like a glossy black, and so I actually hit them up with a more matte black paint job. And so you get sort of that gloss still, but you can see that some of these areas don't shine as bright. Before it used to be really, really glossy just because of the plastic resin. And so just dry brushing it has sort of toned it down, which is nice. So they look much more realistic in hand. So that's very cool. So we have his two pistols. The next thing we have is his AR, or his assault rifle. This is also from Resin Armory, and I think this is based off of McFarlane Call of Duty gun, if I remember correctly. I don't know what kind of gun this is off the top, though. I was thinking about painting it and detailing it, and I am going to eventually paint the laser in there, as well as the scope, like the lenses on the scope. But beyond that, I really do like it, and it's all black look. It's really great. I did hit this with a little bit of matte black earlier, and I just forgot to do the laser because I was working on other stuff. So we have his AR here. Off to the side, the next thing we have is his knife. This is from the Mezco Netflix Punisher. Normally the blade is black. I painted it silver. I think it just looks good. It's a nice shiny silver there. Nothing too much to talk about. This slots in on the back of Red Hood's belt. Wow, I tripped over that. On the back of Red Hood's belt. There we go. So the next thing is I have his straps, his shoulder straps. And the reason I wanted to do this is I just wanted to give him a little bit more armament. So now he has some grenades, has some extra pouches for, ammo or some smoke bombs or something, as well as some, probably, I guess these would be like grenades for a grenade launcher. So I don't have a grenade launcher for him. Maybe I'll find something. Maybe I'll find something to tack on if I choose to sell it. But the reason why I also wanted to have this is it does bring in some of the leather brown into the character. And as you'll see when we go through the review, I did want to avoid the brown leather, especially in the jacket, just because I wanted him to have a much more modern not bicycle, geez. Man, I'm really bad with my words today. I wanted him to have a more motorcyclist look. I am sorry for tripping over my words. This is rough. Anyways, so that was the goal. So we have a little bit of the brown accents there, which is just reminiscent of his more classic look, but we still keep more of this black and red motif going on through here, which is much more of the color scheme of the character that I decided to go with. Moving on to the hands, these are all the blade hands. Nothing crazy to write home about here. These were actually from the Mezco exclusive version of blade. So they were silver before, and so I painted them red. And for all the red that I've done, I used a Vallejo, like just matte red, and then after that I went over with an Angelus leather paint red, and that's how we're getting that nice gloss in there. And I'm not going to talk about everything I painted because I talk a lot about paint on this channel already, and I feel like to a degree you should be able to figure out what's done here. I painted it black, I picked out the buckles in silver, repainted the grenades green, so easy peasy stuff. But yeah, so 2 layers of red on all the hands too. I have all the blade hands here, so we're just going to all just slide them to the side. We don't need to talk about them. Here we have his unmasked Red Hood head, his Jason Todd head with his Robin mask on. This was based off of the Arsenal head from the Red Arrow Mezco figure. Unfortunately, this is the last version of the head I have, which is very sad. I'm going to be out of this version of head, so I won't be able to use it again. And the figure is getting a little bit expensive, so hopefully either I can find casts online or someone will make something, make a substitute, because it's the last one I got, which almost makes me not want to sell them. We'll see. But anyways, here's the head. Normally he has red hair. He has like a reddish orange hair. So I painted it all black and then I dry brushed it in a black gray just so that some of the details pop a little bit more. I don't know if it doesn't look like it's picking up on the camera too well, but there is some black gray. And then on the sides of the head, I got a little bit of like a lighter white gray. And then obviously he has his white patch up front, which I think he got from the Lazarus pit. So there we go. That is the hair. Also, when I talk about making it white, don't use straight like stark white. Mix more of a gray because then it looks natural. This is a couple shades of gray with then just a very light dry brushing of white on the top. And that's how it looks like it sort of fits with the hair a little bit more. Because I tried going straight white first. I did do that and didn't turn out great. So go for more of a gray and then hit it with the white. The last head is obviously his Red Hood head. Last but not least, of course. This is such a great sculpt. This is the same one that I used for my Arkham Knight Red Hood conversion a couple months ago. I just liked the sculpt so much. I was like, I just have to use it again. We did do a different paint app this time. Once again, I'm going more for a motorcycle look. Or a motorcycle rider look. So I didn't want to do a full red helmet. Also, there was an issue with the cast or the print that I got. So it did have this chipping in the back when I received it. Just have to throw that out there. So I painted it like battle damage. Like maybe it just he got banged up. So I have it with some silver dry brushing in there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I think it adds a little character maybe. But because I wanted to go for sort of like a more modern motorcycle rider look, I didn't want to just do this bright metallic cherry red helmet. I was just like, it doesn't feel stylized enough. So instead, I went for this nice red fade along the helmet. And I think that turned out really, really nice, getting in up close there. There we go. I think there's a great fade between the black and the red. And so it's red in the front, but then everything else a little bit more shadowy, If you're like walking around and he's sneaking, like you don't want to get the glint off the back of his helmet. You want to see him when he sees you, or I guess when he wants you to see him maybe. So left this in the back black so that it's not catching unwanted attention. And once again, it's that same two-tone or like two-layer paint process where I did the matte red first and then came over it with the leather red. Eyes are done in white. We have some like gunmetal gray in here with some silver dry brushing. Nothing crazy. Keeping it simple here and just, yeah, really trying to stick with that more modern tone. Once again, this was a personal project. I wasn't really basing it off of any art or anything. I was just like, this is how I envision Red Hood to look. So now let's come to the figure. I'm going to put the Jason Todd head on. I like the Jason Todd head on this guy. So this is my take on Red Hood. I wanted him to feel more realistic, modern, light. It was honestly really tough to build this figure and design him and try to mix all those elements together. I like Red Hood as a character, obviously, because I've done quite a few versions of him. But I've always felt like his design is heavy. He doesn't look like someone who can jump around a lot sometimes. Like generally he's got like the big shin armor that like covers his whole lower leg. And he's got a leather jacket on, and leather jacket, like they can be heavy. If they're thick, they're heavy. So I wanted to move away from that type of build and go for a more, I'm trying to pose him to make him look cool. Hold on. Let me put the fist up again. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I want to get that like anime look where like they lean back and kind of crunch forward at the same time. A little bit of swagger there. That's cool. yeah, so I wanted to incorporate a much lighter, quicker look. And so in that, you know, and in making the helmet and trying to go for a motorcycle look, I went, okay, brown leather jacket, not realistic, too heavy. We're going to instead use the Pink Skull Gang, whatever they were called. Yeah, Pink Skull, whatever. We used their jacket. I ended up repainting the back to look more like a biker skull, so we can see we have the skull, we got some fangs in there, we got these red wings with the horns. So once again, a little bit more of a punk biker feel. Red Hood's always been a little bit of a punk, so we also got, you know, we're playing off the red bat wings, kind of fun. The middle finger on the side got painted red, once again, kind of punk. And then we'll get into the whole build of the suit. But, you know, I'm just trying to give a little look around. I made him lighter, obviously didn't stick with the huge, like really long shin guards, just the knee pads and then the, you know, the boot armor. Yeah, and all of that was to, one, make the suit feel like it was scrapped together. If you do a lot of unique sort of custom armor parts, it's too, yeah, you know, it's too unique. This guy is someone who died and then came back from the dead to kind of chase after and terrorize Batman. So he doesn't have all the tech that Batman has. He wouldn't have this crazy suit. He needs something more grounded. So, but I did give him the gauntlets, and he's got this cool undersuit. So I've kind of rambled about the design and how I, you know, was trying to pull it together. So now let's talk about how we actually put this guy and assembled him. Yeah, how we assembled him. So the first thing is, if I pop off the head, you can see that there is a, I don't know if it'll catch it. There is a black undershirt under there. However, it's a much thinner undershirt than the shirt that the normal Blade figure comes with. I actually did buy a separate black shirt, which I think was from the Neo figure, I believe, which I think is called Hacker Killer or something. It was a third-party figure. But I bought the shirt for that because it was a thinner long-sleeve black shirt. So I put that on him. Then the next thing I used was the hood from the Red Arrow or Arsenal figure. And I actually cut that off the rest of the vest and glued it to the inside of this Daredevil vest. This Daredevil vest I removed from one of the Netflix Daredevil figures a while back for a different project. So I had this vest sitting around. And so then I fitted that over the Blade body. Oh, one other thing. Before I even put the Neo shirt on, I shaved down the sides because when you stack a lot of layers, it gets really thick. So in order to keep that thinner profile, as you can see, he's got a pretty thin frame overall wrapping around. You know, he has that nice like buff V shape. He's got the Dorito body. So yeah, I shaved down the sides of the torso in order that I can have multiple layers on and he doesn't look like a balloon. To talk about that also, that Neo shirt, the sleeves got cut off as well, and so the only thing is just this jacket sleeve, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I cut it off a little short. So you won't see it if you peel the jacket back, but the sleeves are cut a little bit shorter, like over here somewhere. So we have that. The hood itself is glued into the Daredevil vest, and then obviously I pasted the bat symbol over the vest, and then everything got painted. Yeah. So I've been working on painting fabric a little bit more. Clearly, we did a lot of fabric paint there, and we repainted the pants. But for this, the vest got painted all black. It got sprayed black with Angelus leather paint, and then I glued the hood to the inside, and then after that I did this black gray chrome mix on the pads, and then after that I went to a silver, and yeah, chrome and silver are slightly different, and then I dry brushed it with the silver. And so chrome is a lot more reflective than silver, so with the black gray and the chrome, I mixed those two, and so we got this dark but shiny is the only way I can describe it. I wish I had a point of reference to give you, but just try it. Mix chrome paint with the black gray, and you'll realize that it has a shine to it, but it's darker. And it's not gunmetal, because gunmetal is almost black. But yeah, so it had that really cool undertone. But then what I realized is when I painted these pants the dark gray, you know, that is much more classic Jason Todd, the colors were too close. They almost looked like the same shade, almost. This one was actually slightly darker. But with the light hitting these leather pants and the light reflecting off the chrome that was still inside the mix, it was just too close. It was almost as if his pants just continued up his chest. So what I did was I did take some silver after that and dry brushed a little silver, and now it's been brightened up, it's got a little bit more shine to it. And so there's a very clear difference now between the pants and then, you know, his armor padding, but it's not so bright that, you know, it kind of takes away from the rest of the figure. I still needed the armor to be dark and subdued. The bat symbol itself is pulled from a Sovereign Knight figure. All like the arches and the wings and stuff got painted in a gloss black, so that all we have is the red, you know, bat symbol. And once again, Red Hood's always been trying to outdo Batman. So, you know, I feel like using a similar symbol but kind of modifying its paint job works out really well. And I did have to leave the insides of this jacket orange. This fabric does not retain dye very well at all. And so there was no way for me to turn it black unless I painted it. But because it has so much contact and friction with the rest of the suit, I didn't want there to be any sort of like peeling with, you know, the padding that I did in here. So I just opted to not paint it. And I'm just like, the jacket's closed. That's just the way it is. And if not, Jason's stylish. You know, he's rocking the cool biker jacket anyways. You know, he's got a little bit of punk in him. So why not leave it orange? Coming down to the belt, this is the Netflix Punisher Mezco belt. I did extend the length of it so it could wrap around the blade body, and we hid the elastic that's behind here with a knife sheath. Coming down here, we did some web gear for the pistols. Once again, you know, just sort of that pistol strap setup, very reminiscent of the original Red Hood. And so I didn't want to go, I've taken so much liberties that I've forgotten who Red Hood is. So we obviously have that reference there, as well as the color scheme for the gray pants that I mentioned before. We got some knee pads on him too. So if he falls off his bike, he can, you know, he can do a cool little knee slide or something. And then we have his boots here, obviously with the same faded red. And then we have some chrome on the sides just to pick out the boots. Nothing too special. I did darken the boots with a little bit more black because the boots on the blade figure are just slightly more gray, but you know, nothing too crazy. Slight touch-ups here and there. Nothing huge to write home about. The belt itself is normally like in an all matte black plastic. So I painted the buckle with a chrome silver, and you can see that the chrome is brighter than his vest. So chrome silver, and then all those little like belt loops I did in a gloss black so that they stand out a little bit more. The pistol holsters as well as the pistols are from Resin Armory, like I mentioned earlier. So now we've covered the, you know, the construction down this way. Let's talk about the arms. I switched out the forearms from the blade figure. And so these forearms here are the tactical Batman forearms. And then obviously we have the tactical Batman gauntlets on. I repainted them. So we got some chrome silver on the buckles. We got some faded silver on the, whatever these are called, his little wings, his little arm blades. The straps that connect the armor together, you know, that wrap around his arm, those are done in a black gray so that you get a little bit of definition there so that not everything's lost. I also did do this black, you know, this sort of, let's see if it zooms in. We have a, that's a little better. You can kind of see it. We have a leather texture on some of this armor. And so you can see that there's some gloss that runs through the arm across here and up here. And so I actually did follow the layering of the gloves or the gauntlets. So we do have a glossy black in there to help set some differentiation from the jacket. And once again, because he is a lot of blacks and a lot of grays, I talk about it a lot, but you know, denote the different textures so that even though everything is all black, you can actually tell, you know, where different things start and stop. And that's super important. So that's how I, you know, sort of combated that all black look, was using some gloss, using some black gray, using some mattes to help break up the layering there. And then obviously the red, same red pattern with the, or same red paint application with the matte red and then the leather over it. So now I'm gonna load everything onto him. I already have the pistols loaded on. So now we have his knife. We are going to just slide it through there into the sheath. Cool, he's got the knife on his belt. Let's wrap that little piece around. There we go. Then I have his extra, I don't know, shoulder straps, I guess. So these, just pop them around the arms, just like so. There we go, bring the arms back down, tuck those down and in. The way I like to display them is actually not open jacket, but closed jacket. I need to get them a little bit closer so I can work the zipper, so it's gonna hop off camera real quick. And I'll just pause it so we'll have like a jump cut. And there we go. So this is, I like him with the zipped up jacket with the straps on because he looks like he's about to parachute or something. He's got a much more like sleek, closed up, ready to move, you know, fully geared up type look with the grenades and with the jacket zipped up. So yeah, you can zip it up still. You can zip it up higher. I try not to go past the bat symbol because I don't want this, like the metal zipper to scratch up the bat symbol. So I usually leave it at least up to there. And I like to drag it down just a tad so you can see the vest and some of the silver underneath. But we've had him in his, with his Jason Todd head the whole time. So let's put on the Red Hood head. So drop that down, there we go. So now we have him in his, is that all the way? It's not all the way down. I had to use hot glue to, ooh, camera shake. I had to use hot glue to make the head or like the neck peg joint smaller. So it takes a little bit of elbow grease to fit the head on, but there we go. Now we're good. So we got the head on. Red Hood is ready to go. Let's pose him up. So yeah, this was a super fun character to make, and I really like how he turned out. I feel like he's got everything I want in a Red Hood. He's sleek, he looks like he's fast, he's got some cool gear, and the fun part about this one is I really like that he feels grounded. And that was my whole goal for this guy, was that he doesn't look so fantastical that he can't actually exist. And that's what I love. This figure almost has a cosplay aesthetic to him, because when you think about it, he's got a motorcycle jacket, you know, he's got a little bit of a fancy vest and hood, but other than that, it's just boots, it's just knee pads, you know. This honestly feels like something, you know, a real person could put together, probably short of the guns, because that's not a good idea, don't do that. But that's what I felt was really fun about him. He does bring that grounded look to the character, and I think in having a character that's so grounded and a design that's more grounded, it feels more believable and it feels more enjoyable, you know. It's weird to have a character with like super futuristic design holding very ultra realistic guns, because you're like, those don't belong together. That feels off, that feels strange. But this guy, you know, realistic, you know, totally doable design with real guns. Just looks cool. He just looks dope. So yeah, now I'm just kind of posing up and having fun with him. This is what I've been doing for the last week. He just sits on my desk, and I just occasionally I'll be sitting in class and I'll get bored and I'll just change his pose. I'll just switch one of his heads around. And there you go. So yeah, the head is still loose. I don't know why. Oh, I see why. The glue that's inside right now is like bunching up. Let me fix that. I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. All it should do is just wrap around the neck peg. So I'll clean this up. If I choose to sell him, I'll clean this up before he gets shipped out. So don't worry about that. So yeah, that's another thing. With hot glue, make sure that it doesn't bunch up too much, because otherwise it won't treat your neck peg right. It won't do what it's supposed to. There we go. I said it was fixed once. Now it's fixed. You can tell that the head is sitting significantly lower than it was before. That's good. There we go. Finally got him. Yeah, I was looking at my viewfinder. I was like, he still looks odd. He still looks off a little bit. There we go. So now we have Red Hood all posed up. And I'm very, very happy with him. Let me move the camera up a little bit. There we go. That looks cool. So yeah, this is my take on the character. I wanted to do something that still felt Red Hood, but didn't feel so odd and kind of unrealistic. And I think this does it. I think this captures his personality too in a lot of ways. He's the rebel of the Bat family. So, just for a size comparison, so you guys understand how Blade sizes up, this is the Supreme Knight Batman. I do have, or the Supreme Knight Darkest Dawn body, I do have the Sovereign Knight Batman head on him. And maybe that's a sneak preview to something. I don't know. Who knows? Looks kind of Arkham-esque. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know what I'm planning. But this is how they size up to each other. Funny enough, Red Hood is actually a little bit taller than Batman. And that's, and that has nothing to do with what I've done with the body. The body is all Blade internally in terms of like legs and torso. So Blade is actually, I think, just taller than Batman as a figure, because I didn't do any internal mods like that. So that's just a little interesting thing there. He stands just a little taller. The bat ears give Batman height, but if you look at like the base of the head, Red Hood's got a little bit on him. And if we think that's the Red Hood helmet, let's pop that off. Let's drop the Jason Todd head back on. Jason Todd still got a little bit of height on Batman. So who would have known? I guess the comics were wrong. But yeah, I think that really concludes my review. I don't have a crazy amount to say. I think the big thing was how we worked all the layers out. And that was really important, fitting out the actual frame so that we can fit, really 3 layers. We have a jacket, we have a vest, and we have an undershirt. So we have 3 layers on this guy, but it looks like there's really only one. And so maybe that's a technique you can take back to your customs, something to think about. And yeah, other than that, this was just the Red Hood I've always wanted. And I really, really like him. So hopefully you guys learned something. Sorry for tripping over my words at the beginning. I don't know why that was happening. And yeah, if you like what you're seeing here, if you like what you see on the channel, please watch my other videos. Please subscribe to the channel. Do whatever you want to. But if you do want to see more updates and work in progress pictures, as well as know when I open my commissions up to, do custom work for other people, follow me on my Instagram page. Follow my Instagram. That's what I was trying to say. I have my username in the description of every video, so you'll see it at the bottom. And if you want a link, if the username is too hard to type in, if you want a link, there is one in the About section of my channel, so you can go there and it'll shoot you right to my page. So yeah, thank you for watching. Once again, I always hope these are a little bit educational. I hope these are a little bit inspirational. That's all I want to do with these custom reviews. I don't make money on YouTube, so just a fun way to share this with you, and you can kind of experience him a little bit more than just the pictures. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.